When a person's final moments are tethered to a single unfulfilled wish, the people left behind will go to extreme lengths to provide comfort. For the Sale family, a well-intended fabrication meant to soothe a patriarch's failing health becomes a weight threatening to snap their domestic life apart. This is a family defined by their corporate empire, yet their leader is focused on a personal failure. He is consumed by the guilt of a lost granddaughter, a child separated from the family decades ago. His doctors are clear. He is dying, and his only path to a peaceful end is seeing her face one last time. Sale Gongchan, the heir to this fortune, takes the burden of this search onto his shoulders. He has the money and the influence to find anyone, but time has run out. With his grandfather's vitals dropping, he realizes he cannot find the real girl before the end arrives. While Gongchan operates in boardrooms, Ju Yu-ren operates in the streets as a freelance tour guide. She's constantly moving, dodging her father's creditors, and using quick-thinking fabrications to navigate her debt. She doesn't lie for status, she lies to keep her head above water. These two lives intersect at a moment of peak desperation. Gongchan has a void that needs to be filled for his grandfather's sake, and Yu-rin has a financial hole that only Gongchan's resources can plug. They agree to a transaction. She will perform the role of the granddaughter until the old man passes. The arrangement is straightforward. Yu-rin is hired for a single afternoon. She is to sit by the bed, offer a few scripted tears of reunion, and allow the patriarch to die with the illusion of a whole family. To Gongchan, it's a mercy. To Yu-rin, it's a paycheck. But the human body reacts to hope in ways medicine can't always predict. The shock of seeing Yu-rin, of believing his granddaughter has returned, triggers a surge in the grandfather's health. Instead of a peaceful passing, he undergoes a recovery that his doctors call a miracle. This recovery transforms the afternoon gig into a permanent occupation. The grandfather expects his granddaughter to move into the family home and become a fixture of his daily life. Yu-rin can't simply vanish without admitting she's a fraud, which would likely send the old man back into a fatal decline. By successfully saving a life, Gongchan and Yu-rin have anchored themselves to a deception. They are now required to live a double life within the walls of the estate, where every meal and conversation is a performance that cannot stop. Life at the Sale estate becomes an exercise in constant vigilance. Yu-rin moves into a bedroom just down the hall from Gongchan, placing them in a state of forced proximity, where they must navigate their shared secret while the rest of the household watches. Maintaining this perfect blood relative image is an exhausting task. Every social event is a trap in a lineage-obsessed circle. As they protect each other, genuine attraction develops, but hits a wall. To the grandfather, they're cousins. The lie keeping them together makes romance taboo. They find themselves in a loop. If they confess their love, they expose the fraud. If they expose the fraud, they risk the health of the man they worked so hard to save. They are forced to suppress their feelings to preserve his peace. It's a bitter trade-off. The deception that keeps them physically close is the same force that prevents them from ever truly being together.
The tension increases when Jung-woo, an observant socialite, begins to notice inconsistencies in Yu-rin's past. He uncovers the truth of the arrangement and decides to use that knowledge to his advantage, pressuring Yu-rin to stay close to him in exchange for his silence. Simultaneously, Gongchan's former girlfriend, Se-hyun, grows suspicious of the chemistry she sees between the cousins. Her jealousy drives her to dig into Yu-rin's history, looking for the specific evidence needed to discredit her and regain her place in Gongcha's life. These outside threats force Gongchan and Yu-rin to manufacture a secondary layer of lies. They have to fake documents and bribe witnesses to stay one step ahead of the people trying to expose them. Each new fabrication makes the eventual fallout more dangerous. The logistics of managing the blackmailer, the jealous ex, and their own rising emotions eventually reach a breaking point. They are spending more energy maintaining the fiction than they are living their own lives. Their plan had a fatal oversight. A secret that others can use against you is no longer a tool for protection. It's a liability that will eventually find its own way out. The collapse is triggered by the one thing they couldn't prevent, the discovery of the actual missing granddaughter.
Investigators track down the real woman, and the physical proof of her identity renders Yu-rin's story impossible to defend. When the grandfather realizes that he has been the subject of an elaborate script, the health that was bolstered by hope begins to waver under the weight of betrayal. He sees the grandson he trusted as the architect of a deep deception. The fallout is total. The family unit is dismantled, Gong Chan's reputation is ruined, and Yu-rin is cast out. She is forced to return to the life she had before, leaving both of them to face the quiet reality of what they lost.
They thought the lie was a temporary mercy, but by building their connection on a false foundation, they ensured that the truth would eventually take everything back. Time provides the only possible path forward. After several years, the immediate shock of the scandal fades. The family members begin to process their anger, and the distance allows the grandfather to view the original intent of the lie with less resentment. There is a liberation in the aftermath. The truth destroyed the family standing, but it also dissolved the fake blood relation that made their attraction a taboo. For the first time, they are free of the labels that Gong Chan's plan imposed on them. When Gong Chan and Yu-rin finally cross paths again, they meet as individuals stripped of their former roles. They are no longer a high-stakes heir and a hired actor. They are two people who shared a traumatic experience and found they still cared for each other when the costumes were gone. This resolution suggests that while a lie can create a space for people to meet, it cannot sustain them. The loyalty they developed while maintaining the fraud was the only part of their relationship that wasn't manufactured. They found a connection that mattered, even if the circumstances that created it were a fiction. Authentic belonging often requires walking through the wreckage of a comfortable deception. If you want to see more breakdowns of how stories use high-stakes secrets to explore human connection, subscribe for our upcoming videos.